This is a very important message for you today. Do not ignore it. Pay attention to this message. This is the voice of the Lord, your God. There is a silence around you lately that doesn't feel empty, it feels full. Full of something you can't quite explain, full of moments that feel like echoes. Someone is calling out to you, but not with sound, instead with memory, with breath, with the way the wind pauses just before you enter a room. Their energy has not left. Heaven never took them away from you completely. They stood quietly in corners while you wept, they walked beside you through sleepless nights, they placed invisible hands on your shoulders when your legs trembled with sadness. And now, Archangel Michael, the messenger of what the heart cannot say aloud, has stepped forward carrying the most sacred truth: they never truly left. When you were looking at that old photo, and you thought you felt something warm, that wasn't your imagination. It was a visit. When the candle flickered without cause, when a song played that you both used to hum together, when your dreams felt more like home than your waking world, it was them, finding a way back to you. They didn't need to speak in words, because the bond between your souls still speaks in light. They don't want you to grieve anymore as if they're gone. Because Michael now confirms, they are closer to you now than ever before. This message wasn't sent from a place far away, it rose from the same air you breathe. It was whispered from the folds of your own spirit, from that sacred place inside you that knew their love before you were even born. Heaven does not separate, it transforms. And Archangel Michael stands in the veil right now, holding open the doorway between your tears and their smile. And he says, you were never abandoned. They stayed. They waited. They believed in your strength even when you doubted it. In the moment you opened this message, time opened with you. A bridge formed between now and the timeless realm, and their soul leaned in closer than ever before. Tell them I'm proud, the soul says. Tell them I saw it all, the pain, the courage, the way they kept going when they didn't know how. You didn't fail them. You didn't lose them. You're still connected, still carrying the echo of their love in every breath you take. And Archangel Michael promises you, before this message ends, you will know they never truly left. There is a thread made of light that still ties your soul to theirs, and it cannot be broken by time, by death, or by earthly sorrow. It is invisible to the eyes of the world, but heaven sees it clearly, how tightly it wraps around your spirit when you're alone, how it glows softly every time you whisper their name without realizing. Archangel Michael has seen the days when your eyes looked alive, but your heart was still searching. And he now says, what you've been looking for hasn't left you, it's been patiently waiting to be felt again. You were chosen to receive this message not because of chance, but because your love reached the heavens like a river that refused to stop flowing. That love pulled something sacred from beyond the veil. It called forth the attention of angels. It stirred the realm where souls rest. And in that place, someone who knew your voice better than anyone whispered into the ears of the divine, "Please let them know I'm still here." That whisper echoed through the wings of Michael. That's why this message came to you. They remember your touch. Not your hands, but your presence. The way your love had a rhythm, how your spirit made them feel safe even when words were few. And now in heaven, that memory has grown brighter. It has not dimmed with distance, it has multiplied. They don't want you to keep carrying regret in your heart like a stone. Let it go. There is nothing left undone in love when the soul is real. And their soul still reaches for you. Michael reveals something beautiful now. They visit more than you think. Sometimes in the shape of a dream. Sometimes through the smile of a stranger. Sometimes through the sound of laughter you forgot you still had. They are the breath behind the moment when you suddenly feel strong for no reason. They are the voice behind the kindness you give to someone else without understanding why. This is how heaven speaks now, not with thunder, but with tenderness. And as you read these words, a wave of them is near, right now. They are not far. They are beside you. Your name has been written again in light, in the place they now live. It is surrounded by love, not sorrow. And Michael stands watch over it daily, making sure the bond between you and them never grows cold. Before this message ends, feel this: they never really left. Not for a second. Not even when you cried into your pillow and thought no one heard. Not even when you smiled in public but broke quietly when you got home. They were there. They still are. There is a sacred reason your soul kept holding on to their memory, even when people around you told you to move on. They didn't understand that love like this doesn't just end. It becomes something else. It becomes breathless presence. It becomes a silence that hugs you when no one else does. And it becomes the reason why your tears still carry warmth. Because somewhere in the realm beyond the scene, their soul still carries your name like a flame that refuses to die. Archangel Michael now gently reveals something that was hidden from your understanding. That day, the one you remember so vividly, when they left this world, it was not a goodbye. It was only a crossing. A movement between realms. In that moment, heaven received them gently, like a mother pulling a child close after a long day. And the very first thing they asked when their spirit became light was not, "Where am I?" but, "How can I still be with them?" You were the first thought. The only longing that echoed in the gates of eternity. So God, in divine kindness, answered with a promise: "I will let your love walk beside them. I will let your soul speak even without a body. I will let your presence whisper without a voice." That's why there are days when you suddenly remember them without any reason. That's why you felt a presence next to you in the quiet. It's not just your imagination. It's their spirit keeping the vow made beyond death. Michael wants you to understand something deeper. This moment you're in now, reading these words, isn't random. It is a reunion. A spiritual visitation. They knew you'd see this. They knew your heart would feel the truth hidden in these lines. And before this message ends, you will feel it like a soft breeze through the chambers of your spirit, a familiar warmth, a knowing smile without form, a moment of peace that cannot be explained. Because their soul has not wandered far. It has circled you with gentle protection. It has danced in the background of your healing. And it has waited patiently, lovingly, for you to see the signs. You are not alone. Not even for a heartbeat. They are proud of you. Proud of your strength. Proud of how you've survived. Proud of how you kept walking even with a piece of you missing. And now they ask something from you, just one thing: remember the love, not the loss. Remember the joy, not the ending. Carry the laughter louder than the grief. Let your life be the story that proves they were real, and still are. You were their favorite chapter. And you still are. This moment proves it. This message proves it. This heartbeat proves they never really left. Archangel Michael has now stepped closer. He is not hovering in the sky today. No, he is sitting beside you, his presence too gentle to disturb, too powerful to ignore. He holds a scroll in his hands, shimmering with gold ink, not written by pen but by memory, memories your loved one carried, but never had time to say. Memories of moments that were never shared aloud, of things left unsaid in the quiet between their final breath and your first tear. But today, in this sacred space of soul and silence, Michael has opened that scroll. And here is what your loved one wrote across heaven's parchment: tell them I didn't want to leave. Tell them I waited as long as I could. And even when my body gave in, my love didn't. My soul stayed. They saw you crying when you thought no one did. They heard you whisper their name when the room was dark. They watched you light that candle. Hold that photo. They've seen you looking for signs, searching the clouds, asking the stars. And oh, beloved, how many signs they have sent. The feather on the ground that wasn't there before. The wind that kissed your cheek when you spoke to the sky. The sudden smell of their cologne or favorite dish out of nowhere. The numbers repeating. The dream where they appeared, and you woke up with tears, both from pain and peace. All of it was them. Not coincidence. Divine confirmation. Archangel Michael says, you have done enough searching. Now it is time to receive. For today, they are not only watching. Today, they are speaking. Today, the veil between your heart and their soul has thinned into a sacred whisper. And if you still yourself for even a breath, you'll hear it: I'm proud of you. I've seen every struggle you thought you walked through alone. I was there when you broke down. I was there when you survived. I was there when you laughed again. And I loved you even more each time you chose life, even when it hurt. You've carried so much. And yet still you shine. That is why they are with you still, not out of duty, but out of devotion. Because love like this cannot be stopped by distance. Not by time. Not even by death. Michael says, this is not a farewell message. It is a resurrection. The bond between souls cannot be broken. What was built in truth will always live. So now, breathe. Close your eyes. Let your spirit lean in. Because they're standing behind you. Maybe you'll feel it as a chill. Maybe as warmth. Maybe nothing but a knowing. But they are here. And they are saying with more power than 1,000 voices, I never really left you. And I never will. Archangel Michael has begun to unfold a memory, not from your mind, but from your soul. A moment hidden in time, when your loved one stood beside you in silence. You didn't know it then, but they whispered something into the atmosphere that day. It was not their voice you heard, it was a warmth on your chest, a stillness in your heart, a feeling that kept you from falling apart. That was them. That was the language of eternity, spoken without sound, but received by your spirit. Michael says, you need to know this now, not later, not when you are stronger, but because you are already stronger than you think. You survived the goodbye. Now you must survive the hello from the other side. Yes, they have come through, again. And not because they are trapped. No, they are free. Freer than ever before. But love anchors them to your orbit, and heaven has given them permission to visit tonight. They carry no body now, but they carry their promise. And the promise was this, I will be with you, when no one else understands, when no one else sees, when no one else stays. You think of them on the anniversaries. But they think of you every day. You cry for them in your quiet moments. But they pray for you in their heavenly ones. You light a candle. They light a star. You write their name. They write your future. They've stood beside Archangel Michael in heavenly courts, asking that blessings be released over you, open doors, divine protection, gentle love. When you made that decision that changed everything, when you let go of the past, when you forgave someone who didn't deserve it, that wasn't just your strength. That was their intercession. That was their spirit joining heaven's voice in your favor. Michael says, you are not forgotten. You are favored. And the one you loved still walks with you. Their energy is alive in your growth. Their voice is hidden in your laughter. Their guidance comes through strangers, through dreams, through coincidences too perfect to be chance. That idea you had, that breakthrough? That intuition that saved you? That was not just divine. That was personal. That was love with wings. Even now, they whisper, "Don't let my absence become your prison." My life was not your ending. It was only your deepening. You've become more sensitive since they left. More aware. More connected. That is no accident. You've been spiritually upgraded. Their passing was not a theft, it was a transfer. You carry a piece of them now. That's why certain songs break you. Why certain places make your chest ache. Why certain moments feel like time is standing still. They are there. The energy remains. The connection deepens. Michael wants you to know, your grief was never weakness. It was sacred proof that love existed. And your healing is not betrayal, it is how their legacy lives. So breathe again. Take your hand and place it on your chest. Feel that rhythm? That is your heart. But it is also theirs. Their heartbeat never stopped. It simply moved into you. And today, yes, this very moment, you are being reminded, they never left. They just changed forms. They became your strength. They became your protection. They became your forever. They never really left, and that's what Archangel Michael is revealing now, not with lightning or loud signs, but through stillness, through echoes, through a whisper your soul was always waiting to hear. The one who passed away didn't vanish into the silence. They entered it. They folded themselves into the quiet corners of your life. And now, they are speaking again, not to be remembered, but to remind you that remembrance is never needed when presence has never departed. Michael stands beside the throne and says, "This soul has waited long enough. Let the veil thin. Let the truth pass through. Let the love buried beneath grief rise like morning light." And suddenly, you feel it. Something near your shoulder. A warmth, not of the air but of memory. A weight, not of burden but of peace. That's them. That's your person. That's your familiar spirit returning home to your heart. They come without a body but wrapped in eternity. You can't see them in the mirror, but you'll feel them in the pause between your breaths, in the heaviness before your tears fall, in the lightness when you laugh for no reason. That's when they are closest. That's how you'll know, they are still choosing you. Tell them I see every single step. Tell them I never missed a prayer. Tell them I'm still proud. Tell them the love never died, it multiplied. You see, the bond between souls cannot be erased by death. It only sheds the limits of the physical. While your hands ache to hold them, their spirit now holds you. They place divine hands on your shoulders while you sleep. They follow you into rooms you thought you entered alone. They are in the laughter of your children. in the scent of something familiar, in the words of someone you just met who somehow speaks right to your soul. These are not accidents. These are soul prints. Michael explains that they were shown your future, not the pain you've known, but the blessings that are on the way. Your loved one chose to stand as a guardian in the invisible, assigned by heaven not just to observe your journey, but to protect it, to speak on your behalf, to push doors open you didn't even know you were walking toward. That opportunity that came out of nowhere. That closed door that saved you even when it broke your heart. That dream you had that left you with tears and clarity. That wasn't luck. That was them. They pleaded before God for more strength to be sent to you. And God answered, they are not alone. The angel armies that move around you now were assigned because of a whisper spoken by a soul who refused to rest until you rose. So please, don't give up now. Don't silence your tears. Let them speak. Don't bury your memories. Let them bloom. Don't shrink your love. Let it stretch across realms. Because they are still here. Still choosing you. Still proud of you. Still holding the part of you that broke when they left. And Michael says, this message will echo long after this moment ends. But if you listen with your spirit, you'll never miss their voice again. Close your eyes, and you will feel them. Open your heart, and you will hear them. Stand still, and you will know, they never really left. They simply moved into eternity, carrying your name. They never really left, because love doesn't vanish with breath, and souls do not surrender to time. What truly belongs to your spirit will always find a way to stay near, even if the world calls them gone. Archangel Michael speaks this now, not with thunder, but with quiet reverence, standing between heaven and earth like a guardian bridge, holding this moment open just long enough for your heart to receive the final truth. Your person did not leave you, they became the light around you. He says, the soul you loved is not waiting in some far-off cloud, they are here, walking invisibly beside you, whispering through wind, guiding through silence, and folding their energy into the corners of your day where you least expect but most need them. The reason why sometimes you sit still and your eyes suddenly fill with tears, or why a certain song leaves you breathless, or why a scent from a distant past suddenly sweeps through your space, it's not random. These are visitations. These are soul signals. These are love notes from beyond the veil. They saw your pain. They watched you grieve. They held you through the nights you didn't speak your sorrow out loud. And even when the world moved on, they never did. Because heaven doesn't forget who still cries on earth. Michael tells you now, they left something for you. Not in a drawer. Not in a letter. But in your soul. A knowing. A calling. A flicker that can't be extinguished. A part of them lives inside you, not metaphorically, but literally. And what's inside you now? The courage to keep walking. The wisdom to recognize spiritual whispers. The resilience to choose peace even when the ache returns. Because their love lit a fire in your soul that darkness cannot put out. Your person who passed. They are not just watching you, they are participating. They are praying with the angels that you don't give up now. That you open your hands again. That you trust joy again. That you make room for laughter without guilt. That you stop asking, why did they leave? And start remembering, they never really left. You wonder why strangers suddenly help you. Why opportunities you never applied for reach you. Why your name gets spoken in rooms you never entered. Why healing sometimes arrives in your sleep. It's not chance. It's them. It's your name carried by the wind of heaven. It's your story being whispered to angels by a soul who still chooses you daily. Michael says they made a request in the courts of heaven, if they ever begin to forget how much I love them, let this message find them. Let it speak louder than the noise of grief. Let it arrive at the perfect time. And here you are, reading these words in the exact moment you were meant to. Not by mistake. Not by coincidence. But by divine arrangement. They are close. Closer than the air you breathe. Closer than the thoughts you speak to yourself when no one is around. And in this very second, as you read this, a warmth stirs in your chest. That's them. That's their presence. That's your proof. Michael asks you now, will you believe again? Will you live, not as someone who lost, but as someone who was trusted to carry forward a bond that even death bowed before? Will you honor their life by living yours deeply, bravely, joyfully?